History is soaked in blood. From ancient empires to modern superpowers, humanity has fought wars on a scale almost unimaginable. These are not just battles. These are the 10 deadliest, most devastating conflicts our world has ever seen. At number 10, the Napoleonic Wars. Spanning across Europe, this series of brutal campaigns saw nations rise and fall under the shadow of Napoleon Bonaparte. Over 3.5 million people died, including soldiers and civilians. Entire cities were destroyed, and Europe was forever reshaped. Napoleon may have been a military genius, but the cost was catastrophic. After the fall of the Russian Empire, chaos erupted. The Russian Civil War pitted the Red Army against the White Army, with foreign powers and local militias thrown into the mix. Estimated death toll 5 to 9 million. Famine, executions, and disease claimed lives as quickly as bullets did. This wasn't just a fight for power. It was a nation torn apart from the inside. One of Europe's darkest chapters, the 30 Years' War began as a religious dispute, but soon devolved into a full-scale bloodbath across the continent. Over 8 million perished, many from famine and plague brought on by the endless war. Entire regions of Germany were depopulated. It was one of the most destructive conflicts in European history, and all in the name of God and power. A war that many have never heard of, but should never be forgotten. The Taiping Rebellion in China was a civil war led by a man who claimed to be the brother of Jesus Christ. His vision of a heavenly kingdom led to the deaths of 20 to 30 million people. Rivers ran red. Cities burned. It was one of the deadliest civil wars in world history. The war to end all wars was only the beginning. World War I was a brutal mechanized slaughter, trench warfare, chemical weapons, mass casualties. Over 20 million people died, and another 20 million wounded. Empires collapsed, borders were redrawn, and the world would never be the same. Another ancient conflict that shook China to its core. The Taiping Rebellion against the Tang Dynasty led to one of the bloodiest civil wars in human history. Death toll? Estimated 13 to 36 million. Entire provinces were wiped out. The rebellion crippled one of China's greatest dynasties, forever altering Chinese history. Dynasty against dynasty. The fall of the Ming and the rise of the Qing wasn't just a regime change. It was a brutal, decades-long campaign of war and conquest. Over 25 million deaths. Between war, famine, and plague, China's population was devastated once again. Often overshadowed by World War II, the Second Sino-Japanese War was one of the bloodiest conflicts ever. Estimated death toll, 20 to 25 million, mostly civilians. From the rape of Nanking to scorched earth campaigns, it was a time of unimaginable suffering. This war would later merge into the global chaos of WWYI. The most devastating conflict the world has ever known. World War II spanned every continent, every ocean, and involved over 100 million people. Death toll, between 70 and 85 million. That's about 3% of the world's population at the time. Genocides, nuclear bombs, entire cities erased. The scale of destruction is unmatched in human history. At number 1, the Mongol Conquests. Led by Genghis Khan and his descendants, the Mongol Empire swept across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Death toll, 40 to 60 million, possibly more. Entire populations were exterminated, cities reduced to ashes. The Mongols reshaped the medieval world through terror and strategy. It wasn't just war, it was an apocalypse on horseback. These weren't just numbers, they were lives, families, civilizations. War may sometimes shape borders, but it always comes at an unthinkable cost. Which of these wars do you think had the biggest impact on the modern world? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more deep dives into the brutal, fascinating history of our species.